Hi, I'm David Brannon, disability lawyer. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to qualify for CPP Disability for depression. Now, after watching this video, you will know what it takes to get approved for CPP Disability with depression, and so that'll help you understand if you have a chance or what you may need to do to make sure your claim gets approved. Now, if you like this video, please hit the like button. Also, subscribe so you get these videos that come out a few times a week. And if you can, leave some comments. We love the comments and we'd be happy to reply to any questions that you have. So how do you qualify for CPP disability for depression? Is there anything different about applying for CPP disability with depression as compared to other medical conditions? This is one of those common questions we get, and it is a heavily searched on Google actually. People wanting to know that if I have depression, can I qualify for CPP disability? It's a complicated answer, but we're going to go through it as best we can. So the first thing to know is that with any application for CPP disability, it doesn't matter your medical condition. A claim is not approved or denied based on the fact that you have a medical condition. So just having depression, even if it's quite severe at the moment, will not be enough on its own to qualify you for CPP disability. With any CPP disability claim, there are three things you have to look at: age, contributions, and disability. For the sake of this video, let's just not worry about the age and contributions. Let's just assume that you have those. Let's focus on the disability because that is really the heart of this question. The big idea with depression, from the point of view of Service Canada and the medical adjudicator, is that there are many people who successfully manage careers in their lives living with depression. Depression is not something when you get it, you're written off. Depression is seen as something that's very treatable, that can be experienced by very high functioning people who may have periods where they are not able to function, but then are very functional for long stretches of time, right? Depression is not something where that if you just have a diagnosis, people are going to assume that you can't work. It's just the opposite, actually. Many of the people you're dealing with may have suffered depression because it's so common in our society. So that is the overarching thing to keep in mind. So when you're looking at a claim for depression, there are two things that you really have to keep in mind. Number one is this a serious condition, and are you getting the appropriate medical condition? They will look for clues on how serious your depression is, how it's described by the doctor, but most importantly, whether you are getting the appropriate treatment. Without the appropriate treatment, depression can be disabling for a long time. That's how it works. But the issue is that with the appropriate treatment, depression is one of the most treatable illnesses out of there, and people can get their function back. So they're really going to look at, are you getting the most appropriate treatment? So if you're not getting good treatment, you should not expect that your claim will be approved, even if you are severely disabled from depression at the moment. So by the appropriate treatment, again, that will depend on your situation, but it most always will include some type of psychology treatment, maybe a referral to a psychiatrist, and at least trying some of the antidepressants, that are appropriate for your situation, and usually trying more than one, because antidepressants are not something that you just go pick off the shelf and start taking. They're extremely serious medications that have to be handled very carefully. You have to go on them very slowly and come off them very slowly. And often it can take more than trying one or more, 2, 3 different medications till you find one that actually works and regulates your mood so that you don't have the disabling symptoms of depression, okay? So that is extremely important to understand, that you have to do the appropriate treatment. The number one way you're going to get denied is if you're not doing the appropriate treatment. And it doesn't really matter the reason. Maybe you don't believe in medications, you don't like you don't believe in the psychology. Doesn't matter what you believe in. If you're not doing it, you won't get approved. So I tell people just to suck it up. You may have to do things that you would otherwise not want to do if your goal is to be approved for the disability benefits. Okay, you always have control over what you want to do, but unfortunately there are hoops you have to jump through to get the disability benefits, and undergoing what's seen as best case or best practice treatment is something you're going to have to do. Now, that brings me to the second point of depression that is somewhat linked. I said there were these three requirements. There was the age, contributions, and disability. There's actually a fourth requirement. I don't want to talk about it as much because it doesn't always come up, but it really comes up with depression, and that is the prolonged requirement. It's not enough that you have a disability. It has to be a prolonged disability. Prolonged just means that it is long and it's not expected to improve anytime soon, or could result in death. The question is your depression prolonged? Because you could be severely depressed, can't get out of bed. Everyone can agree you're severely depressed, but you may not be able to prove the prolonged, because if you haven't done the right treatment, they'll say, well, with the right treatment, you would get better, and so therefore this is not a prolonged illness. The only reason that it's prolonging as long as it has is you're not getting the right treatment. So again, it all comes back to getting this right treatment. And without the right treatment, you are simply not going to be approved for a depression claim. And yes, you have to go the whole route. Commonly get asked questions with major depression that is non-responsive to other types of treatment. Sometimes there will be things like treatments that people don't want to try. And again, you'll have to get to that point and decide whether that's right for you or not. Just go with your doctor on what treatments, like electrical stimulation of the brain and these kind of things. People get very freaked out by that, and I don't blame you. Make sure that you speak to your doctor about it. We're not back in the 1920s when people were being electrocuted in the brain for depression. It's a much more controlled process now, and it has medical backing in Canada that it can work in appropriate situations. So be open to all types of treatment. Talk to your doctor, and know that the key to winning for depression is that you have to get the right treatment. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our support team, and you can click on the links below for more information about depression and disability benefits. We have a guide that we have on that. Please subscribe. We do these videos a few times a week so you can stay up to date. And don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment if you can. Take care. We'll see you next time.